What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Thursday night's Airbrush Down and Dirty Tricks. We are live, we are good, we got sound, we got picture, we got people waiting. Let's see who we got in the house tonight. We got Darren Plank, Brian Moore, Dan Mayer. What's going on? Dave the Bug, Simon Carter. Dave, thank you so much for coming right in hot. Appreciate that, thank you very much. Set this one down just a touch. There we go. Alright, what else we got going on? Simon, what's happening? Alright. I think we got good sound, we got good audio, we got some down dirty tricksters in here. I gotta see some gold skulls. See some orange or red skulls. We got Keith, what's going on, man? Evening. Let's just give a shout out to all our members here. Thank you so much for all the support. Really appreciate you guys coming on board, helping out. Obviously, that gets you that nice little discount off the downloads. This one is available for download right now. This is the Darth Maul skull we are doing. Gary, she is what's happening. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. We got big stuff going on here. Yes, Dave, I am. That's a good announcement I was finally able to make. I've known for, I think, about 2 months now. About a month and a half, 2 months. So I got the call that I was invited to the International Airbrush Days in Hamburg, Germany, next year in May. So that's going to be awesome. It's something I've seen a lot of my fellow artists get to do over the years. And obviously I've taught in the U.S., I've taught in Canada. And it's always been on my bucket list to get overseas and teach in various countries. And Germany was a big one. And I finally got the invite. I remember waking up in the morning and getting a message from Roger over at Airbrush Step by Step, inviting me in. And I represent the U.S. going over to International Airbrush Days. And I'm with some great artists, Rod Fuchs, David Naylor, Marissa. Let's bring it up here. This is what we got going on. I got this prepped. So it is next May in Hamburg, Germany. And it's David Naylor, Melina, me, Azella. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I apologize. Rod Fuchs, which I've had the pleasure of teaching with many times. So it's going to be cool to go to Germany. And Marissa Oshley, who I've never met. So honestly, I've never met anyone other than Rod. So it's going to be really cool. And I've never been overseas. I've never left the country. I have been to islands. I've been in cruises and obviously Canada and stuff like that. But I've never been overseas, so it'll be my first trip overseas. So it's really cool. Really excited for the opportunity, and I got to make some plans for what I'm going to teach there. So yeah, super stoked, and hopefully meet some down and dirty tricksters over there. And I think I'm going to make a longer trip out of it. Maybe see some other parts of the UK while I'm over there and visit some family and stuff like that too. So super stoked to be part of it. And I want to thank for the invite and Iwata and Kratex, Sparmax, representing everyone over there. So super stoked about it. So let's get to what we got going on tonight. Let's take that off screen. We got Robert Astro. What's going on? What else we got here? Dan. Cool. All right, let's talk about what we're going on here tonight. We have this little project we got going on here. And it's Darth Maul skull. We started it last week. People been digging it, and I think it went pretty well. It's a nice start, and now it's time to finish this thing off. I actually brought the reference skull up here so we have it, just so you can kind of see what's going on. But if you make it to the K, allow to meet up and have an adult. Simon, yeah. So I'm gonna be there. So, we're gonna be in Hamburg, Germany, and that's a 3-day program. I'm planning on maybe taking a week or two, and we want to see Switzerland, and we have some family over there, and a few other parts. So we will definitely see what we can do. These players are looking forward to catching up on your miniature stuff. Yeah, I got to get on those as well, and that's going to be very soon. So, all right, let's talk about where we ended up. So we did last week. We got the majority of the skull done. So the only color, and let me bring up the paint list here. I'm using everything I did last week and then mixed everything back up. The only thing I'm adding is the W005 red in the transparent layer. Just because I wanted to have the opaque and the transparent and the candy to play off the reds a lot because there's so much going on here. And then what I also did, I didn't mention it here, is I switched out, and you can do the same thing. I made the opaque black. I used the transparent black. Just because I wanted to play with it more. But if you already with the opaque, just add 20%, 40, 50, and some extra reducer, and you'll end up with about the same consistency what I'm doing. Todd, what's happening? So that's where I'm at there. All right, so let's do this side by side here. That'll be kind of easier, I think, for everyone to see. Let me see if I can go up here and see what's happening. And that's the reference images we're working off of. So anyone who downloaded this already, you get these reference images. We've kind of worked through that. And now, for the most part, we don't have to finish the skull 100% right here. We could go from here to the background. But I want to do a little bit of work where I left off. And if you remember where I left off here, so we did all the red, the different tones of red. We unmasked the black, and we did the horns and the yellow. And then we unmasked everything, and we used a Titan buff. We didn't use white here. Don't use white. If you use white, you're just going to flatten everything. So what you want to do is you want to use a Titan buff, and that's going to work nice because you're not going to get that blue shift. And what I'm probably going to do here is I'm going to take that Titan buff, and I'm going to try to get a little bit more blue onto this side than I did in the original piece without messing it up, hopefully, because it is a little risky. So I'm basically just going to saturate this a little bit more with the Titan buff. And to basically just get it a little lighter on this side because I want to get the blue. And this side I obviously have more red, so I can actually do both. And just kind of hit those core highlights and just think of that light source coming up. We're just going to hit this a little bit more. We can get some wrinkles under the eye. Not too much, just a little bit. That's all I'm really doing here. Just so I can play a little bit more off the blue. And when I do blue here, I'm going to use transparent blue, which is the cerulean blue off the paint list, which is the detail cerulean blue. I'm going to use that pretty weak because I don't want to use the candy blue. Because the candy blue, when it goes over red, it's going to get super dark. It's going to make it almost a purple black. I want to do it. I want to bring the blue tone into the red. So that's why I'm going to use a transparent red. And I'm going to do that in a little bit. Do a little bit here on this side. Because the blue side is going to be this side, the red side is going to be here. So I can afford to have a little bit of blue on all the bottoms of this. And so it's going to be very subtle. I'm not going for like a total blue side. I just want to have a little bit happening. Like I said, this is something I didn't do on the first one I did up in Canada, but I wanted to explore it a little bit more. And just get so the light's coming up from here. Oops. Sorry about that. I left that on a little too long. So what I've been doing here is just adding a little bit more blue, and the light, the blue side is going to be here, so it's going to be coming up. Okay, so it's going to be uplighted. So if we look at the reference image here, I have that. If you look at the gray, where it's more white, that's where I'm hitting blue. So I can afford to be a lot stronger here with this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the subtle blue, and then I'm going to carve in with that red detail later. Because if you look at the black skull reference, you can see there's some of that red light. That red light's powerful, and it's mixing in over the blue. Okay, so we're going to be bringing that red back in. So I want to get the blue on in this stage. And we'll get a little bit under here, a little bit under here, and then we're going to start carving the detail. But I don't want to use a candy blue. Because candy at this stage, you are going to have a little bit of bleeding going on. Because I'm working kind of wet on wet. It's a little bit like working with oils. So I want to do the Caribbean blue. It's going to be over-reduced a little bit. And this is where I'm hoping I don't mess this up, but I'm pretty confident. And you don't want to flood this. I want this really weak, okay? And I'm going to try to hit it pretty much where the white is. So see that slight blue? I'm not trying to get over the red too much. I'm just really trying to keep it in the white. And I can come back in later and we could probably bring some candies in. See what I'm doing? It's very subtle. I can't express how little I'm putting down. Just a little bit. And I could do this later after I put it. I know what I'm going for here, so like I said, it's just a very little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit here. It's very minor. It's not a lot. It's really, it's just kind of like a glaze coat. Okay, that's all I'm really doing here, and it looks kind of cruddy right now. Oh, one of those grips? All it is it's basically like what you see on like a tattoo wrap. It's just like almost like a gauze wrap. It's self-sticking. I was trying this out. I saw someone do it, and I did it a couple weeks ago, and I was having some hand fatigue, and it actually did help quite a bit. So I kind of left it. Yeah, so look, I can go back in now, and I can hit that white a little bit, that tighten buff right back over it. But I'm trying not to cancel out this detail, because I'm going to go back in and carve it. It makes me nervous as well. Like, I don't like the look of this right now, but I have to trust the process and know that I can bring, as long as I don't go too far, I can kind of bring it back, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, it is a little scary. Yeah, it's just like it's just that self-adhesive. Let me see if I can find the stuff. It's really cheap. You can get a pack like this for like nothing. It's just see what it is? Bandage wrap 16 pack 1-inch black. And it's just like basically it's a self stick, but it doesn't have any sticky feel to it, you know what I mean? And you see a lot of tattoo artists do it. I saw one of the mini painters wrapping their like paintbrushes with it. Ninja, one of the guys I follow, was wrapping his paintbrushes with it. And basically, I'll do it on this. It's just a little bit. And it tears pretty easy. And you can see it doesn't leave any sticky residue. And it's just a nice little kind of cushion. And I put some here and here. And I was just messing around with it to see what I liked. And I put it here. And I kind of rested in here like this. It's not needed. Do you customize your airbrushes? What do you mean by customize? I don't really customize them much. I used to customize them as far as I used to shave down some stuff in here, and I used to shave the trigger down. That was way back in the day. The newer ones don't really need it because they've changed the triggers to what I really like. I might do a little extra polish from time to time, but no, I don't customize anything really anymore. Okay, let's do this. I brought in a transparent red. And I'm going to bring that in now. And what's cool is that now this is where I can start doing... Oops. I just lost... No, there's no need to you don't need to upgrade the nozzle. I mean, I might change... Like, I might have an Eclipse that comes as a 0.35 and say I want a 0.50. You know, so it's bigger. Or stuff like that. But there's no upgrade to... The Iwata nozzles are suited for that gun the right way. So there's no need to upgrade or change anything. I mean, if I can do a 0.23... Like, I could take an Iwata Micron that's, you know, the normal custom Micron's a 0.23, and I can convert the head to a 0.18 if I want a smaller one. But no. And when I get an Eclipse, it's a 0.35. And if I get an Eclipse bottom feed, they come as a 0.50. These airbrushes now that you're seeing at Harbor Freight and a lot of these knockoff brands or just alternate brands, not knockoffs, where they say, oh, it comes with 3 different needles and 3 different nozzle sizes. It's not needed. 90% of the time, your 0.35, 0.30 mid-range is your sweet spot for everything, plus or minus. You don't need to change it out for detail and change it out for bake spray. It's a lot of extra stuff for nothing. You can, here and there, do it for very specific needs, but chances are, when you see a Harbor Freight or brush like that comes with all this stuff and it's $80, they're throwing a bunch of crap in there to make you buy it, so it seems like you're getting a deal, and you're really not. I polish them when they get older, you know, when I'm starting to use them a lot, but I don't like go in and when they're brand new, I don't really bother. So I'm going to the transparent red. And I'm going to pop in here and just add a little orange into this eye. Just to start getting... I'm going to put all the final glows and stuff towards the end. Let's go... I'm going to grab one of the mini texture effects. Mr. Mendez here. So like, I'll go back to it for Warlock too. So the only time I polish the needle is like if I've straightened it or it's been kind of getting beat up and I've been using a lot. Sometimes I'll run some polisher on it to keep it going. So I'm just adding a little texture to these eyes now. This with that transparent red. And I can actually take that transparent red now and I can add some of that into here. Because now you'll notice when I start adding it in here, it doesn't really do much on the black, but it does tint a little bit. But it does darken things up a little bit under here. And I'm going to be adding Bordeaux into this area. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing towards the end. But it can have a little red going on in here because we do have a red light source coming up. So see what I mean? I can put a little red on the horns underneath. We can get a little bit of extra red glow on this side. And it can bleed into this side as well. Because the red light is going to overpower the blue quite a little bit. Exactly, details. We can add some more little red textures into here. And I'm keeping it mostly on this side. This is going to be the redder side. The transparent's not going to overpower the black too much. Get a little bit of red on these teeth. I don't want to put too much blue on here because they're going to get a little greeny if I do that. But so this is just a light glaze coat. So this is where I left off last week. And just kind of getting that in. But you can see it's already kind of pulling together. It's getting some cool stuff. I can really start playing with it a lot more. I've used my clips almost here now. No new parts do I need. You don't. So I always have the replacements on hand. You don't. If they're any broken, don't fix it. You know, it's always nice to have an extra needle and nozzle around. I mean, I usually order like a 6-pack. I order like 6 needles, 6 nozzles, but I paint every day, so I usually have like a surplus. It's not really needed, but I always have one. But you see, that's already kind of setting the blue side up for later. But again, it's just subtle little bits. So here's the thing with airbrushes. If you use them a lot, I mean, that needle popping in and out is eventually going to flare the nozzle a little bit. But if it's spraying fine, don't change it. But I would just have one ready. So someday it's going to pop. It's just general maintenance. Okay. Alright, so that's that. So now what I'm going to do, just to start carving some extra detail in, is I'm going to bring the Bordeaux in. The Bordeaux is that nice, it's like a deep, deep, deep rich maroon. But I'm building everything slow. I'm not going crazy. So this is the Bordeaux. The Bordeaux is like a very thin glazed maroon color. Really nice for carving detail, especially on a red character. It's kind of like the opposite of the Titan buff. So see, it's kind of magenta-y when you look at it, but when I come in here, let me see if I can come in from the top down only. So watch. So see how maroon and pinky this looks? But watch what it does here. Almost looks black, doesn't it? But it gives me a control to start building the tone slow. See that little bit there? Look, I can do I'll do a little texture here. That looks like black, doesn't it? Okay. But if you look at the color itself, so look at the difference, because color is relative. Look how magenta pink that color is. Like, it's got that kind of rose magenta color going on. But in here, over this red, it almost looks like black line work. And this is what I'm going to carve a lot of my detail with. To see how I come in here, I can start carving these wrinkles. I'm going to use this a lot towards the end to kind of bring this all together. But this is what I'm going to do. And I probably won't use any pure black, because you know I really never do. But I'll add black to the Bordeaux. I have your first Darth Maul skull. Oh, the 3/4 view one I did. I'm like, the first one I did of this, that was up in Canada. Oh yeah, that was a fun one where it was kind of, it was like the zombie face, like he was missing the nose, and but see how I can come in here and I can start hitting this, and even in here, I can start carving some detail. And it really starts coming together. That's why I love using like a semi-transparent color as opposed to using black. If I was doing black already in here, man, we'd have problems. It would start looking really flat and kind of cartoony. I'm not trying to go over the blue areas too much because you'll end up with purple. So I'm kind of going around it. It's fine in here because that's going to be, the purple's going to work because that's going to be part of the makeup. So the Bordeaux over here having a little bit of a purplish blue tint works. And I can get that kind of detail back. Before I kind of tone it. But it all starts coming together. The skin starts having a little bit of elasticity to it. I'm glad you didn't make it live, man. Yes, I did hit record. I did. Thank you very much, sir. And now, so you see how red this is? You know, how it kind of looks black over here, but it's still red. When I come up to here, over this yellow, it almost gets a little brown tone to it. And I can come around here, and this is where I'll start picking out some details. And kind of giving the skin like it's got some folds and just some stretch marks going on around the tattoo area. Just slowly building. Instead, I'm going to get this to like the kind of 80% mark. And then we're going to do the space, and then we're going to tie it all together. Okay, that's kind of the plan. And I haven't even used any candies yet. This is all done with transparents. Like, I kind of like where this is right now. So I'm not going to push it because I don't know the background right now. You know, I know the plan. I know the plan and the structure, but I can't see it. So what I'd rather do now is kind of stop where I am at this kind of 80% point, do the background, and then marry them together with all the final details with that last 20%. You ever hear the saying, the last 20% takes as long as the first 80? And it's kind of true. Yeah, see, the Bordeaux, if you go back a few minutes and look to just this difference, I could pretty much get away with just almost being done and kind of send it home, but what's the fun in that? And you can really play around with this stuff. And remember, when you clear it, it's going to look even better. And just like I put the white down here, I can kind of put some loose, dark shadows over here. And come down. And we'll play with all the rest at the end. So you look at it, and it's got a great look. And we can put some like drop shadow here with using the Bordeaux. Like that horn's casting a shadow up. Because the light's coming from here. I'm going to do another one here. Understanding the way the light comes up. Just play around with it some more. Yeah. I think that's a great place to be. Everything else can kind of be done later. You can put some little veining while I got the color out in the horns. Little details. I might actually mix up a transparent brown if I think I need it, but I'm going to try to avoid adding another color. I think this Bordeaux kind of works over that yellow. It gives it a cool look. Honey, what's happening? Thanks for popping in. So again, like I said, this Bordeaux comes in really handy. If you haven't played with this color or the Titan buff, I would highly recommend grabbing them. Just because they do so much. Oh, let's not forget, we do have a bid on this. We do have, Gary is at $250 on this painting. Cool. All right, let's pull the background off. So now at this stage, I got him, I said, that 80% mark. I got him kind of where I want him. And make sure there's no masking left behind. Sometimes you get a little... When you have this shape and this shape cut out, sometimes you do get a double cut, so you get a little hair. Like cut vinyl. Just go around and feel for it. Yeah, there's a little teeny one there. I'm good. Little teeny one there. See this little worm right there? Sometimes you get these little guys. When you have a positive and negative shape, sometimes you get these little hairs. So you got to watch out for them. There's a way to take them out of the plot file, but the problem is, if you don't know what it's doing, your machine goes all over the place because it doesn't complete the shape. It'll go, it'll do all this weird stuff, so sometimes it's just easier to leave them and just check for them. Alright, so I think we're good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try something here. Because half the time it's cutting around those horns. But what if, before I unmask, I just put these back? Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. That's a lot of extra work. You know what I'm going to do, just to be, in case I need them, we'll just put them over to the side. If that's that one. I don't think I'm going to need them, but I'm going to save them anyway. Doesn't hurt anything. Happy little horns. Hope everyone's had a great week. It's been nice around here. Finally got some dry weather. So now I'm going to pull this tape off. Now I'm leaving this because this is the ground. I'm just pulling the green. And we are going to do the background space scene, which will be the majority of this. So this is kind of a whole separate lesson here. What I'm about to go through is pretty much how you would do a space scene. And then I'm going to take that space scene, integrate it into this, and wrap it all up. So it's pretty cool. Let's just take this guy. This edge, here we go. Whoa! Be careful enough, I don't want to pull this off. Does look pretty cool. Even like this. And you can make the space scene or the background or whatever you want back here. Simple, complex, whatever. That right there, I could throw some black in here, dust some stars, and be done. It's a cool looking piece right here. So you do have a little bit here in the mouth. I'm going to use plastic razor blade here. Get these. Pull that gap. There's a little one in here. See? A little one in here. Okay. Scott, what would you... so Shine's asking, what would you recommend for painting on a canvas spare tire cover? I was thinking of trying Alpha Line, new substrate for me. So I just use Createx, honestly. I've done it for leather and vinyl. You can use Alpha enamels. You can use House of Color striping paint. You can use House of Color straight. The biggest thing with the canvas tire covers is coating them at the end. So if you use Alpha, you can't put a top coat on it. You got to be careful with it. The nice thing about the water-based stuff is you can put 40-50 over it as a top coat, and it'll soak into the fabric and the canvas and bite and lock it in. You can also use, if you use urethane, you can use like an acrylic lacquer, like Save Tea spray, or just a regular nice acrylic lacquer after the artwork's done. If you're using like a urethane or an acrylic water-based. Again, you run into the issue, you use Alpha, or if you use Ronin and stuff like that, you got to be careful what you top coat it with. Or you just can't top coat it. It'll still last. My rule for tire covers with people has always been, this is since the 80s and 90s when we were doing them, they last as long as they last. You know, it's not real leather, it's not canvas, so it's on the back of a car, it's on fabric, it's going to wear out, it's going to kind of fade a little bit over time, or just the flapping, it's going to get worn. It is what it is, so they just have to understand that. But like I said, I've actually done them with elastomeric paint, which is like a leather paint system. I've used those as well. But it all works, it all sticks, and you'll be good. I gotta secure the shell. Yeah, it's just, you gotta play around with it. Everything goes when it's got another one. Thank you, man. Okay, so there's two ways to approach this. Back onto the lesson plan. There's two ways to approach this here. You could, like we did the Tiki last week, if you followed the Tiki video, you could cut a positive and stick it on and just have it line up. A couple little strings, I'm just getting all those out here. I actually had a double cut set on this because it cut an outer silhouette. So there's a couple ways to do it. We can, if you want to keep it like freehand soft, this is just a paper cut template. So when you print it 1-to-1, see, I could just go like that, and I could just paint around it. You could put magnets down, hold it in place, and be done, and just and work everything around it. Honey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. So you could do this. You know, this is one way to do it. You just got to be careful when you're blowing paint, not to like get underneath it and like kind of blow up the edge like a little bit and have it go under. But you could totally do it like this. It just, when you do it like the white, you want to like kind of spray away so the paint goes this way so it doesn't creep underneath. If you want to get a little bit more secure, especially on a flat panel, this works. If you're on a three-dimensional, this doesn't work that great. You said you could cut a vinyl one and just stick it over the top again. This one has cuts. Or you could do a simple, quick cut, and it doesn't take long. Grab a squeegee. This is green mask, which is clear. Watch, I'm just going to stick this on like this. I pick it up. Whoops. I'm going to pick it up like this, and I'm just going to squeeze you down. Like that. And then hand cut around. Now, the issue here is it's kind of dark, so I got to be really careful. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to do... So, I can if the lighting here is kind of hard with all my studio lights, to go around and carve everything, okay? So I can do it. I think I'm going to work with just the paper. I mean, I could use this as a guide. You could always do this too. But I'm going to show you, if you guys are doing a flat panel, let's say you're not doing this on a bike. If you're doing a bike, you got to use a mask like this. That's three-dimensional. But we're going to make this, because the red and the green, I didn't get enough delineation here, so I really can't see it. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I always print out a 1-to-1 scale like this, right? So it's printed the same as I plot, so they always line up. So what I'm going to do, I got to just cut these little shapes out. Let me do that. It's actually kind of a faster way to do it. You just got to be a little bit more careful not to get any paint creep. So I'm just going to cut these holes. This is actually a better teaching method for people who don't have a plotter. If you do, you don't always need to cut everything with a plotter. You got to get those knife skills up anyway. You got to keep them knife skills. Okay. Alright, so even though I'm using an aluminum panel, and this is a polymetal panel, the nice thing about these big neodymium magnets is they have enough power to get through everything and still stick. So I can kind of line this up. It's got to shift just a hair. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Get that down there. What else do we have? Do we have any more? See, these regular magnets, they kind of stick, but they don't stick well. The big neodymium ones here, these do a much better job. So we're going to swap these out. Cool. Easy. All right, so now you have to look at your space scene. Let's bring up a reference image here. Wrong one. So you look at the reference image here. We got the blue side, we got the red side. Yes, hold on a second. Sorry about that. No. So we got the red side, the blue side, and we got some planets. Planets are really simple. Just basic circle templates. Put them wherever you want them. You know, this time, I'm going to do a planet down really low. Like, what's that? Yeah, let's do one low. Look at the twin planets. We'll do one here. And we'll do one on this side, like here. Where are my other ones? Where are my other planets? There we go. And then I got these two. These all come in the file. Now we'll do them up here. We'll do on this one. And then we'll do this one. Definitely don't forget to like and share. All right. So let's talk about doing planets. This is where you get some fun color pop because we can add some crazy colors into here. Remember the little thing I talked about last week about doing the full, so you don't have to mask like the whole board off. Overspray deflectors. We're going to do the planets. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the planets, we're going to cover them up so they stay, and then we're going to do the backgrounds. That way you have everything kind of planned out ahead of time. So any tape will do here. Gerald Mendez years ago on CoastAirbrushtv.com did a great how-to. It's probably hard to find now. I'm not sure if it's still up and available, but this will be kind of the next best thing to how to do a simple, fun space scene. Okay. So, planets. Now, like, whatever you do for coloring, so if I choose to do this like an orangish, yellowish, reddish glow, and say this one a green, well, we can have it so the green's on this side because that's getting the natural light, but the light bounce from here is hitting that, so you can run that like this. I know this is going to be on the red side, and I know this is going to be on the blue side, but we can flip it, or we can make this, I might do this like a bright green. I think I'm going to do this one a green planet. And I think I'll keep this one a reddish orange. And then we'll do these something different. And this is where the bright white comes in. So I'm going to get rid of my Titan buff. London pen, what's happening? So now I'm going to go pure white. And let's use some more of Mr. Mendez's templates here. Make sure our edge is down. And you know what? This one is going to be... Yeah, I'll make this one bluish green. I'll have the blue kind of down here, and we'll have the green side up around here. Just kind of set that up. This one here, I'm going to leave this side of the planet almost black. And what I'll do is I'm going to use this template, and I'm just going to hit this side. I'm going to leave this side black, like the red's going to make this glow, orangey, and this side will be dark. And when I counter mask it, it'll just stay black on the other side. It'll be kind of cool. Just keeping it really simple. This one here, we can do kind of, we'll do this one smooth, like it's just a smooth little planet. And this one, let's do kind of like, just some like banding. Just kind of play around with it a little bit like that. Nothing. You can do a little mix of both. You could obviously do them with colors. I just have one color in here. So let's make this one what color do I have in here? You guys get really quiet. So I still got the Bordeaux in here. I don't want the Bordeaux. Ooh, actually I do. Let me throw some Bordeaux on here. Okay, just a little bit, so it's got a little color delineation. Would you use skin yeah, you can use the skin texture. Yeah, the skin textures work really cool. You can do a lot of cool stuff with that. You know, the nice thing with the plants is you can just kind of make up whatever the heck you want. So watch, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this texture, this yellow, because I'll use some candy red over it. Gary's already here, Brian, and he's already got a bid of $250. That's yeah, so exactly. So it's going to be a nice setup for the red. Let's make this one up here like a green. So I'm gonna make this a super bright yellow. We're gonna make this a bright yellow as well on this side. Yeah, so that's gonna be casting. But I'll do this one with a green and this one with like a blue. And here we're gonna go green. What'll it be? See how the yellow over the white's different than this one here. Chris Foss. I know the name Chris Foss. It's drawing a blank right here. Alright, so let's take... Where's my green candy? And that's about the only reason I mixed the green candy. Because I'm not using much of it at all. So I think on this one, I want to do like a green on this side. Right? And then I'm going to add some white, whoops. Nope, that's got some craters in it. That worked out, actually. I'm going to add some more white on this side. Some smaller textures. And we'll do a couple here on this side. It looks kind of cool. I have no plan on this. This is just guessing, and we'll see what works. Yeah, I've definitely seen the name. Yeah. Sometimes happy accents just happen. So I like that. This side, I'm going to make that planet green too. But it'll have more yellow. That'll just be straight green with a bright yellow kind of hit. I do have another green here I can mix in. This is the apple green. We can put some specks. Okay. Let that dry out. A couple little mess ups, but they'll all work to our favor. Let that dry out. But you can, I'm probably going to put some more green in the sky. We'll see what happens with the background. Nope, dropped my paint cup. Hold on a second, guys. No, seriously, Gary, it's exactly right. Experimenting is learning. So when you're doing stuff like this, there is no right or wrong. You know, you can do so many different things. And different textures and different things in the clouds. And it doesn't really matter, man. You can just mess around. Have fun with it. See what happens. Try different textures. So this is blue. Look, I'll go a little blue on this side too. Let's make, watch, I'll just go this one blue up here. Just let it happen. And that's the Caribbean blue, and then I'll do the candy blue. And you'll see the candy blue reacts a little bit different, it'll be a little bit brighter. See how it's brighter and gets a little bit more pop? And I can even go over the green and kind of tints it. And go over this side. Yeah. And maybe I'll add some purple in at the end. I got purple too. Somewhere. Yeah, I got purple. Let's add some purple. Exactly. Never admit your mistake. Here's purple. Actually, we'll go purple up in here now. And we'll add a little purple into this one. There's a lot going on in these planets. Okay. So this one, I'm going to make red. So I got all the yellow going on there. We're just going to take some red candy and we'll go over that bright yellow. You can mix up a million different colors here and just have fun with it. You could have a planet be almost totally black. Like it's a negative or it's a black hole. So here's the candy red. We'll just go over here. Just let that grow. You know what? This side can be a little bit. I want this plant to be mainly black because it's going to be on the Sith side. And then we'll take these off. And then, whoops, go slow when you're on paper. I forgot we were on paper. Take your time. Take your time. There you go. Go slow, go easy. Yeah, exactly. That black hole, like you could do it solid black. And if I had an extra circle, maybe I'll work one out. Let me see what I can do. I'll take this off easy. Take time. So if I had the mask down here, I could be a little bit more forceful. But because I'm using paper, I got to be slow so I don't tear the paper. You got to keep that in mind. Almost didn't. You can mix up some bright oranges, some teals. You can do anything. It can be pure white. Like hell, we can make this one before I unmask it. I'll be really careful here. Add some little white in there. Said Gerald Mendez has probably one of the best space tutorials. Alright, now we can take the blue mask off. So you have our planets. They're just kind of sitting out there in space. I'm not sure how to fix that. Because I tore that, I'm just going to take this. This is why I say always know how to do it by hand and by plotter. Because sometimes you need a little bit of everything. And that'll actually hold that edge down, see? Oh yeah. You can do clouds and comets and stuff and spaceships or whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter. That's what's so cool about it. So if you're not good with a blade, look at my Tiki tutorial from last time, the one right before this. and I would cut a silhouette and stick it on. And that's going to give you the same result. So now, you can take your positive stickers, and actually you want to do a black planet, that's just black. Let's stick that, you know what, it'll be right there, so it's basically canceling that out. So now, I'm going to take these, and I'm going to put that on, and you're going to cover that planet. Take that on, you're going to cover that. Oop. That's going to be here like this. Put it on. There we go. And this one's still drying. See how it's still shiny right there? I'm going to make sure that dries out. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's a little gummy. If it pulls off, we're going to make it a crater. A little trick I learned from Craig Frazier years back is when you got masks like this, if you find it's too tacky, stick it on your shirt a couple times. Get a little lint on it. Like put a little spit on it. Now it's less tacky. Boop. There you go. Now we get to do the fun thing. Space. Couple ways to do stars. You can do the old where you pull back the trigger and just like it spit. You can bounce off the edge of a popsicle stick. This is a really cool trick. It's like doing the granite. Just be really careful with it. And just kind of flick it. If you get really far back and the paint gets wet, you'll get some big stars. Like that. If you go really close, you'll get very fine. Keep it really simple. Okay. And now we can do, again, we'll take a Gerald's. Do most of this with texture effects. I love this trick for doing clouds. Put your hand underneath it so it's about a 1/4 inch off. And when you spray at this outer edge, watch what you get. When I kind of move, you get a really nice cloud effect. See that? Nice kind of spacey cloud without having it like too tight. And you can actually like move like this. Just to kind of make some stuff happen. Now when you get to like the edge of him, you want to make sure you push down. And get a little closer here, like I'll get this planet a little tighter. And we'll have it kind of come down. And drag some of that paint. Kind of like a weird nebula. Anything you want to do here. Mike Manning, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. How much of a raised edge do you get painting this style? You don't get it really. You actually get a less raised edge than using a mask because it's not stuck down. The paint can't really build up against anything. So it's actually a pretty soft edge because you're not putting a lot of wet paint on that edge. Okay. So what I'm going to do, this side, I'm going to do the same thing like a lightning. So I need to get a heavy, I'm going to be using a lot of red in here, but I'll map it with white. And I can get a glow around his lightsabers. But if you go back to some of my older videos on how to do lightning is like same as doing cracks, and you want to kind of like jitter around. Like that. I'm going to stop there like it's coming out of these clouds. Yeah, we'll give it like a hot spot. Like the lightning's coming from the space and kind of charging down. Simple. Really simple. Keep it clean. Give it a glow, because we're going to put red around it. You can even do like, maybe there's a little comet there or something. Just really play around with it. This side, we're going to do more of kind of like that ethereal or like a smoky kind of glow thing. And I'll use my pocket graphics, and we're just going to come up him with kind of like almost like a smoky fire. Using the matchmaker. Just really kind of set it up some fun. We can even go a little further with it up here like that, like it's foreground. Okay, so this is the one little trick I'm going to show you. The lightsabers need to be bright, okay? So I need to know where they are. So watch, we're going to do the outer glow. And I'm going to do a little glow here. And we'll have that really glowing off the cheek. We're going to have this really glowing off that cheek. Just playing with space, doing some random stuff. But I want to get some color in here. You can use one of those like swirl. Just like a little gravity storm around that planet. You can do this for colors too. Alright, back to here. These are going to have a bright glow. So I need to know where they are. And that's going to have red glow, it's going to be a blue glow. But the center of lightsabers, when you look at them, the center of the blue lightsaber is almost pure white. The center of the red lightsaber is almost like a pinkish rose color. So I need to know where those are. So what I do, I'm just taking my blade here. Do I have a new sharp one? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, look, I'm going to make a cut right here. I'm going to make a cut right here. And I put a little glow here so I know where these get placed. So what I do, because you can't have a black blade, lightsaber, unless it's the dark saber. We're not doing that, so I'm not going to go into that discussion. So what you do is you pull these off and save them. Okay. So then what I do, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to put this like white in here right now. But I'm going to put it kind of just light, just so I can still see where it goes, right? This is a great trick for doing neon and stuff too. We're just going to place it there. Now I know where they go. Yeah, we're not getting into the darksaber. I knew someone was about to. As soon as I said you can't have a black lightsaber. It's not a lightsaber, it's a darksaber. And I'm going to put this back on so this stays white even when I start putting all the brighter colors in here. That way it's kind of the last thing I do. Okay, really simple. Just playing with the masking. Cool, so now I got pretty much everything where I want it. Now what do I have here for color? I still have the candy red. I don't want candy red yet. I want to use Later, Bug. Sorry, I missed you. If I missed you, sorry. Alright, so I'm going to use the transparent red because I don't want the opaque red because I don't want to cover the black. But I'm going to start out here. So remember, he's a red character, so I got to have more white around him. But I got to get the red down. First, and I want to get a good red glow around him. Like the semi-transparent will show up on black a little bit. And I can come up here with the texture effects and start putting a little bit of red because I want this side to have a lot more red going on. And I'm going to bring purple into this side, and I'm going to spend more time on this side doing greens. But I want to keep the red mostly down to here. I'm not going to do a lot of it up here. I want to do more purples and blues up there. So there's some red. Okay, it's kind of cool. I'm not trying to cover everything because I still have candy red. But I want to bring in some purple. And the cool thing about bringing purple is I can do some purple and I can start bringing the purple into this side where the blues are going to be. So we're at 9:20, hour and 20 minutes here. It seems like I have a lot to do right now, but I really don't. This is kind of the fun stage where you did a bunch of work, you cover it up, and you forgot how much is going on. And then you kind of unveil the gift in the end. Alright, so some purple here. Let's do some purple. I'm going to get the purple on this side a lot more, which is going to be really fun. Then we can bring it a little bit down here and around him. But because we're going to blue, I can get this purple as the bridge color from this side to that side. See what that's doing? It's kind of making some cool stuff happen. There's some more purple there. This is where you can also bring in pearls. Purple pearls, green pearls. You can do so much here. It is endless. I'm just going to keep it a little simple, and I'm going to brighten some things back up. We got purple here. Keep that purple going. A little bit here. So I want mostly blues down here. We'll get a little green going on too. Do you ever paint? I've done occasional anime manga stuff. It's so technical to do it. It probably wouldn't work well for live feed unless I keep it really simple. Or it would have to be more of a recorded type of thing. You know what? Let's do a little green. I'm going to hit a little green up in here. Just a little. Maybe a little down here. Okay. What is going on with this? Oh, it's not tight. Okay. Alright, now we're going to bring in the blue. This is setting up all the undertones. And then we're going to go back to white. This is kind of like doing fire. You're setting up. Everything here is a setup for the next layer. So here we got some blue going on. Got some more blue up in here. We're going to set a lot of blue on this side here. And this is kind of that background blue. It doesn't look that good right now. But trust me when I say, this is exactly where you want it. Let's say... Did someone say manga anime skulls? That could be a fun way to do. Like manga people are very hard to do, but I could do something kind of like a dragon, or they kind of keep it more cartoon and cel shaded. It works really well when you do that because you can use a lot of paper cut to create some really interesting effects. Okay, so that's the underpainting. Oh yeah, no, I've watched Guyver since it first came out as a kid. Even the one that was a buddy of mine had a Laserdisc version of it that they converted to VHS, which was not the Americanized version. The really dark and twisted Guyver. Yeah, I've been asked to do Guyver quite a few times, and it's definitely something I would like to do. Yeah, you could definitely do a lot of pearls in here. I don't have any mixed up, but you could surely do that. Okay, so now I'm going to thin my white down. You could also use Titan Buff here. I'm going to be a little bit more strategic. I'm going to put some more stars, but only a couple. And more up top. And usually what I do, we're going to do a little bit more cloud. You can get a little tighter with this one. And maybe a little tighter. Be a little more fun. And then wherever there's a good star, pick one and we'll do a little glow. Like that can glow a little bit. Now we can glow a little bit. We have a little glow in the center coming down. Okay. Getting into the home stretch here. Okay, I'm going to get this bright. Lightning is going to come down. And here. And here. I don't know who Guyver is. Look up Guyver. It is a very cool character. Super popular in the 90s. Then there was a really poorly done live action movie, but it's still kind of fun. There's actually a couple different versions of Guyver. But yeah, it's a great character. Alright, so just like doing fire, I'm going to set up inside and kind of keep it. Keep everything within the glow. We'll have a little bit of fire coming off the saber. See what I mean? Just very little. And kind of glow into here. And come out. Like, I could do a whole 2-hour. The rubber suit was terrible. That's all they had to do. That's all they had, though. You know, it's... If you have Tubi, T-U-B-I, that, like, live streaming channel, you can watch it for free. Okay, get it going here. Glow here. Gonna make this glow. And here, 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 here. And now this is where I start coming with the candies. This is gonna be pretty bright. I'm gonna do way more purple up in here. Like I said, you can just play around in this arena for hours if you want. Do what you want with it. Maybe I'll do some just quick videos on just how to do different space. But that would be fun. True, yeah, Mark Hamill was in it. And then martial arts dude. Okay, so now I'm going to take the blue candy. It also had Jimmy Walker. Dynamite! If you remember, Jimmy Walker was in that movie too. He played one of the creatures. We're getting really random here. Okay, so the blue candy. Oh, is that the blue candy? Yes. So the blue candy is going to be brighter. But I'm just going to kiss it a little bit. Do that just a little bit. It's fun, just a little bit, just a little bit. It actually would be cool. You know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get some purple. I got to get the purple. I'm going to pull some orange out. I'm going to pull some orange. And get a little orange on the other side. And I may want to use it in the face too. Let's get some purple up in here. But it looks really messy. And that's kind of the point, it will. Yeah, like it's fun. You don't overthink it. Keep throwing some stuff at it. You can really play back and forth. It's hard to mess up, but like anything, you can mess it up. Oh yeah, you can mix candy into pearl. And you can get a lot of really fun stuff happening here. Alright, so now I got a little orange. Let's just put a little orange in here. I'll even put a little bit of orange over him. And that is going to set up for the very dangerous red candy. Which really makes everything really vibrant. And I put this mostly in the black areas to let it get a glow. But you see how much pop that is? I'll white him a little bit more, brighten that up. I'm going to white here just a little bit. Because remember, it's still white under the mask. That's the white. Back to that red candy. Just tint it. Alright, let's see what we got here. So watch, when I pull this mask, it's going to be brighter white underneath. Too white though, right? Okay, but so now what you got to do is I'm going to do a subtle glow. Doesn't take much. Just a little of the red candy to kind of pink it a little bit. That's it. And then we'll do a little blue candy on this side. It's very subtle. Yeah, definitely smash that like button. And then a little bit of blue on this side, so it's not pure white. And just, see what plays out. Now the structure's here. You can come back in and affect a lot, but let's see where we're at. Let's see how this thing's balanced out and see what else it needs, because right now you got a lot of chaos going on. It's hard to kind of tell what things look like. Get some blue up in here. And maybe I'll put some pearls in here for whoever buys it. We could spend so much more time. Again, these are paintings where you can spend extra days on if you want. You can spend hours on if you want. It just depends where you want to be. Alright, so let's see what we got. Now we start pulling the mask off and see what we got. We pull the planet, and boom, that planet kind of pops. But I think it needs a little bit more... I actually think it needs to be darker on this side. Or, no, it needs more white, so watch this. I didn't like it. Let's make this cloud a lot whiter on this side. And watch what this does. Let's see what that does. If that... Here we go. See how that did? That pops it even more. That little bit of contrast. This side here, let's see what this looks like. Oh, like, that's cool. That's cool. This is black. It's almost too black. So we could just make that cloud kind of go over it a little bit. Let it disappear. Nice little green planet up there. And this one will be bright white. Little things like that. Maybe that goes a little bit more blue up there. There we go. That goes a little blue. Now we got the silhouette down here. Let's bring that up. The skull's coming up last. Oh, unless all these magnets fall. Yeah, I gotta pull this off so I can get these. Pull that. Losing magnets. Okay, so these silhouettes, let's see how they look. Silhouette painting is such a simple illusion that just really looks cool. It's going to look even cooler when it's cleared. Look at that. Nice battle scene. We pull this guy off. And now we have a really cool scene overall. Now, so what you'll notice here is this needs contrast because it doesn't really, it just blends into each other. But realistically, we did most of this in just over an hour. I got 20 minutes of playing around with detail. The reds and the whites. Let's see what we can pull off here. Alright, so what I like to do, I'm going to go back to the Titan buff because the white's a little too strong. But you can come in, like, just watch this, something really simple. Watch this. Right here, watch this little bit of white. Get this down. See that? Just that little bit of glow? Look what that does. Look how that sharpens it right away. Like right here. If I come across this with a little texture, it really just starts to separate everything. Same thing here on this side, blue glow. Let's get a bright white. Let's get a bright white in the center coming down. All this little bits. Really just helps kind of strengthen everything. Would you use... Yeah, you can use yellow here, or orange, or things like that. I'm going to put a little bright spot in the center there of the pure white. You could play around here indefinitely. You know what I mean? You could really just play around with it. That's why it's a fun project. Steve! What's going on, buddy? It's been a bit. I need to know what you've got plans for that microscope. I'm scared. And excited at the same time. Alright. Let's brighten some stuff up. So I'm going to put some Titan buff in here. I'm going to hit some details. Look around the teeth, all this little highlights. Then I'm going to carve the final darks in. A little around the teeth. Come up the nose a little bit. And I'll probably come back in after the black details and carve a couple little. And we'll carve some extra black in here. Horn's going to have some highlights. I'm really setting it up for some final details. I said, this is a really fun project to download and mess with. You can try it a bunch of times. This is even a good project to do like a clear coat stage. You could get a bunch of it done and then go around and clear it and then add some other aspects to it. We'll highlight here. All right. Now for the fun part. So what I do is I'm taking my black. My black is it's Wicked Black, the regular the Wicked Transparent. So I'm going to mix that with the Bordeaux because I don't want it to be super black strong. So I got to be careful here. I got to check it. This might be a little too strong still. Yeah, it's still a little too black. I really want to avoid it being black, so actually, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to put more Bordeaux in than black. In case I miss, I don't think I missed any bids, but right now we're still at $250 on this piece. Okay, yeah, there we go. See, now I got like a dark magenta, kind of rosy color. That's what I'm looking for. And I want it pretty thin. And this is where now I can carve the nose inside them details. Kind of come down here. around the teeth. There's another tooth in here. See, even right against here, I can kind of come underneath and just darken in there and get that better separation. Kind of trace out around the eyes. We'll brighten these eyes up one more round of candy at the end. Well, now I'm kind of going freehand around all that makeup or tattoo, however you want to describe Maul's. And just start darkening things up. I'll do the first round of it. This will get cleared twice, so it's perfectly flat. I'll run the first session with House of Color UC21 because it's a nice high build clear. And then I'll sand that down the next morning, and I will run the House of Color USC01 Show Clear on it, and then I'll buff it. That'll be give it a super gloss and protection. I've worked with that clear for so long. I just love the way it reacts. I love the shine I get out of it. There's a lot of other good clears in the market. I'm not exclusive to one, but I have done a lot with House of Color in the years that I just had such good luck with it. I have no problem promoting it. And I've used almost every other brand out there. So the nice thing about being transparent, I can come across and kind of define these shadows, and I can kind of retrace out. Yeah, the USC01 is just slick, man. And sometimes on small panels like this, if I don't have a lot of edges, I just use the URC01, the Rocket Clear. The Rocket Clear is like, you can buff that stuff in about 2.5 hours. They say sooner. I usually wait like 2.5, 3 hours, and I've had that stuff buffed and delivered the same day on small parts and panels and things like that. So yeah, I'm just going around. See the difference between this? This, I went over with that transparent black, this side. See the difference on this side? It's too crisp. That's the thing about using plottable mask or hand cutting. You want to get confident enough in your airbrush strokes to kind of retrace this stuff. It softens that edge and just makes it look a little better. So watch how it comes together. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to kind of trace, get my line going, just softly trace around it and kind of blend in. It just starts to look a little better. Yeah, I think 10 more minutes of this. And this is pretty much it at this point. I'm just going to go around. Get some of these black details. Kind of carve the tattoo design back out. And brighten up them eyes. Like I said, you could spend days here. Doing more and more details. Adding more little textures. So if you're really different, I'd like to make this side really, really blue, but I don't dare do it here in the live feed because it could be really risky. So if you want to experiment, if you really want to push it, what I would do is I would clear it, sand it, and then try putting the blues on top and see what I get. I can also do this. To get an extra drop shadow off that horn. You do the same thing on this side. Oh, that's for a different one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just wrapping up, man. Getting close. Last little details, last little things. Then we go back to that Bordeaux by itself. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? What am I at? Oh yeah, this is a Titan buff. So now, Titan buff, I'll go... Oh, before I do that, sorry. I'm trying out the dirty 50 airbrushes here. But yeah, so like this is, we're into 4 hours of this. If I want to go really nuts, I can put another 2 or 3 easy to make this like super dynamic. When we did this lesson, we did this over 2 full days. So we did a lot more playing around with it. But this gets you the kind of gist of where we're at. Let's do some bright yellow. Really get that popping. Dump that Bordeaux. Take a little bit. Oh, you know what? Let's take a little bit of the orange. Thin it. The orange will be a nice glaze over some stuff. Actually, the orange will be good right there too. Yeah, I've been talking with Coast. We might do one out in California. Nothing else really planned. The next big one we got planned, like I said, next year for any of my UK guys. We got this coming up, which is the International Airbrush Days. That's going to be in Germany. So that I'm really looking forward to. There's not a lot of programs going on. There's some custom paint programs. If there's any that are happening that want to invite me out, I'll be more than happy to talk to someone. I just haven't really got anything on the radar right now. Alright, so let's get that. A little bit of candy red in here to brighten him up. You'll see that I'll start to pop. Some more red on the bottom of these eyes. Nice glow. That's just about wrapping up. I'm just going to bring back in like a thin white Titan buff mix. I'm going to just add some like edge highlighting basically. In the center. Actually, we'll do a little La Valley taste. Get that little reflection in the eye. That little extra slit. A little wet bottom right here. Okay, I appreciate that, sir. Give you a big old cheer. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a double clearer. Okay, so now I'm going to just bring out some bright white highlights. Really pop that. Really pop here. And maybe we'll do some extra stuff on the second round of clear. You know, like, see how this tooth is really lost here? Watch. I'm just going to brighten this up too. There we go. Highlight here. Highlight off the nose. A little thinner. Still a little too thick for where I want it. This one is really hard to get a sense for until it's cleared because it gets so dynamically bright with all the extra colors and stuff popping. Get that glow off the head. His head's really shiny, so you get a lot of glow. Let's do a nice little edge light around everything down here. Oh yeah, and I'll probably throw some pearl in this too. We'll do some extra stars. And it really starts to pop. Glow that eye a little more. And here we go. Glow the bottom of the eye like this. There we go. The horn, we'll get this horn to pop out. A little more. And there we go. I think that's going to do it, guys. Like I said, cleared, you'll see a lot more of this color kind of glow. And see, now you can see the green. There's some green up in here. I think maybe we'll get a little... Hold on a second. Just gonna have a little bit more blue up to that planet. A little bit more blue here. Like I said, I could just keep going. And that completes the Darth Maul 2-hour live. Let's switch up. Appreciate everyone popping in. Let's actually go over to this and see here. Here we go. So you can see different angles. Definitely has a different look. But cleared. It's going to look sweet. It's going to look awesome. Long project. Thanks for staying up. I'm glad. It's been a lightsaber blast. I appreciate everyone sticking around for this live feed. It's a lot of stuff to do. It's a really fun project to dive into. It's definitely challenging to try to pull it in 4 hour total time. You could probably do it 4 hours without trying to interact and talk pretty regularly, pretty easy. So it's a nice day project. You could spend a solid day, 8 hours on this, and really dial in a lot of details. Like when we did the class up at Maple, we really dialed in, and everyone just did a killer job. I think we spent like a half a day just in the background space and just really played around with it, a lot of different options. So fun project to play around with. Maybe next week I'll just do a space one, just simple spacing, or I'll do some recorded videos on that and go from there. So thank you to all my Down Dirty Tricks for supporting the channel. Help the channel grow. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and see y'all next